Hey, Tubies! It's Psychic Bob. Woo! But here we are. It's Sunday. Isn't that wonderful? It's the day of the sun. I'm telling you, where I live here in Virginia, in the United States, we're definitely getting some Sun Lord energy. I went out walking earlier, and oh my God, it's hotter than the blazes out there. I'm telling you, oh my God, it's so crazy. Anyways, it's Sunday. It's time just to chillax a little bit. I don't know about you guys. Do you take Sundays kind of slow? I mean, I've been doing readings today, but I've not been going at a breakneck pace as I usually do. Sunday's kind of a day of rest, a day of relaxation. Yeah, I got on my sun shirt today. How you like that? Isn't that fun? Well, anyways, I want to come here and talk to you because I was thinking about Sundays. A lot of people on Sunday, they kind of have a Sunday ritual. Maybe they go to the park on Sunday, or maybe they go to the movies. And a lot of people like to, cook up a Sunday dinner or go to a Sunday pub lunch. So, Sunday's got a lot of associations with special events and traditions. Some people go to church. Some people go to Wiccan services. Some people just sleep late. And, I was thinking about the Sunday meal, as a lot of people like to cook up a Sunday meal. And that got me thinking about my book that I'm reading. I'm working on this amazing book. It's called The Witchs Cauldron. I think I showed this to you the other day, but I didn't really go into it. But I tell you, I really recommend this book. It's published by Llewellyn. See, it's got the little moon on it. And it's written by Laura Tempest Zakroff. There's her name, Laura Tempest Zakroff. And I got to tell you, the cauldron is a traditional mystical witch tool. It certainly is. But I have to be honest, I haven't done a lot of work with the cauldron. I haven't used it a lot. I tend to work a lot with mirrors. I work with my wand. Everybody has tools that they're just drawn to. And the cauldron, here's one of my cauldrons. By the way, if you like this cauldron, you can pick this up over at Lady Angela's site, rarewiccaspells.com. I'll put the links below for that. But I recently bought this from Lady Angela's store, and I've really kind of been meditating on, like, how do I get to know the cauldron? To be honest, it's not a tool that has called to me so much in the past. And I don't mean this to sound sexist, but I kind of always thought, oh, that's a woman's tool. Women do the cauldron work. But really, the truth is the cauldron is for all Wiccans, all witches everywhere. And it's a sign of our faith. I tell you, I am so happy that I got this book, The Witchs Cauldron, because it gives some amazing insights to working with the cauldron. And I tell you, now that I've been studying this, I'm really going to start to really work with this magical tool. And my cauldron is made of cast iron. You can see it here. I used it back when we did our consecration of the altar to Pan. I burned prayer intention for all my YouTubers, for all of you, in that. And so it's a wonderful thing. I recommend if you get a cauldron, you don't have to. I'd say get a lidded one. I just think that's like kind of cool, and you can smother flames with it or cover things up, or, but there are a lot of ways to use the cauldron. And one of several of the insights I've gotten about the cauldron have come from this book. And I wanted to share with you one of the sections here. It's called The 9 Uses of the Cauldron. Okay, so let me put on my reading glasses. Psychic Bob's half blind. Oh, well, that's part of life. I used to have perfect vision when I was younger. The 9 Uses of the Cauldron. And this is kind of long, so I won't read the whole thing. It goes on several pages. But I just want to briefly touch in on the 9 uses, okay? So think about the cauldron as we're talking about this, okay? It says the first use is as the container. And it says, in its simplest function, the cauldron is a holder. It is relatively passive. Whatever it contains is in its final form already, and the cauldron protects and preserves it. Examples of this would be when the cauldron is used to hold wine before it is distributed, or hold written intentions collected for ritual. It can also symbolize a repository of the owner's power. I've heard of witches, what they'll do is that the excess energy for ritual, they'll literally channel through their hands and dump it into the cauldron. That's kind of a neat idea, you know. The other use here of the cauldron is as the maker, okay? And it says, unlike the container mode, the maker is active. This state is when the cauldron is being used to brew, prepare, cook, or dye. It is an agent in physically changing the properties of the ingredients mixed within it. Examples would be brewing mead, cooking a stew, or dyeing cloth. You know, this is one of the things I found out, that in the old days they used to mix dyes and dip their cloth into the cauldron. That's how they used to dye clothes. So I think that's kind of cool about the dyeing of cloth. I hadn't thought of that. So that gives me a new perspective on the cauldron, okay? So it's the maker as well. So it makes things, it changes things. The other name of the cauldron, use of the cauldron, is as the transformer. Akin to the maker, the transformer goes beyond physical changes into metaphysical changes, such as charging a pendant, burning an intention, releasing a binding, or making an offering. The cauldron can act as a crucible, physically as in metal making, when molten metal is poured into a mold, or metaphorically, such as during the casting of a spell. Now that's how I've used the cauldron predominantly. It's like burning intentions, burning sigils. But you see, it can be used in a lot of different ways, okay? The cauldron is also the purifier. And it says, this state is for cleaning, cleansing, and renewal, from boiling water in the cauldron to make it safe to drink, to washing items or making a cleansing bath. Isn't that a wonderful purifier? And then it also says the other use of the cauldron is the gateway. In some traditions, the cauldron hung from a chain in a hearth the cauldron hung from a chain in a hearth or from a tripod symbolizes the connection between this realm and the divine. The chain becomes a kind of telephone line, making the cauldron a gateway to the gods. Sometimes the cauldron is literally the passage to another realm or dimension, such as the underworld. When the cauldron is used as a means of transportation, it falls into the gateway category. So that's a wonderful thing. You could use it for scrying. You could put water into it and gaze into it and see if you open portals, you know. And then the other uses, there are 2 more or 3 more, which is, this is heavy, I'm going to set it down, is used as the drum. This is long, I won't read it, but it just basically says a cauldron could be used as an instrument to tap on to make music during ritual. Okay. And then it can also be used in divination. And it says there are multiple ways that a cauldron can be used in divining the present, past, or future, such as scrying, lot casting, pyromancy, which is divination by fire, libanomancy, smoke or incense, chiromancy, the melting of wax, ceromancy, dripping wax on water, eleomancy, oil, or hydromancy, water. See, so you can put, you know, different elements in your cauldron, such as dripping wax, or adding water that you gaze into, or studying the fire as you heat the cauldron, all sort of things. You can burn items in the, the cauldron and study the flame. Really powerful. And then it says the last one, the 9th way, is rebirth. It says the cauldron as a state of rebirth has elements of the other conditions, such as the transformer, the gateway, and the purifier. But its power to give or renew life itself sets it apart because of the magnitude of its power. It is in this state that the cauldron most closely resembles the womb as it gives new life. So you see, these are some of the 9 uses of the cauldron. And, I just think that, we should all kind of pause and think about, the cauldron. I know a lot of you are Wiccan, and, I'm curious, have you used the cauldron, Or are you like me? Is it just one of those tools that you kind of said, oh, someday I'll get one? I've gone years without having a cauldron. And as I said, I bought this in the last year from Lady Angela. And I love it. And now that I'm actually learning more about how to actually use it, I'm going to use it. You can also put candles. I've seen people you know, buy like a pillar candle and use it as a pillar candle and let the flame be like the flame of the cauldron. You know, that's one thing you can do. I've actually seen people put soil in their cauldron and plant plants and use it as kind of a symbol of new birth. You know, as they're talking about the rebirth, that's a thing you could do. So really the uses of the cauldron are manifold. And I am so thankful that I've, you know, had this book to kind of open my eyes and help me really appreciate the power of the cauldron. Now, this is a miniature cauldron, but you can get cauldrons in all sizes. In fact, this book talks about that. It talks about large cooking cauldrons all the way down to smaller miniature cauldrons. So, you know, find the cauldron that's right for you. This book talks about what size you might want depending on what your work is. It talks about materials for cauldrons. Anyways, there's a lot in here, and I really highly recommend it for you guys. So I want you to tell me in the box below, you know, have you used the cauldron? Is it one of your favorite tools? Or are you like me? Maybe you really haven't thought about the cauldron, but are willing to explore it, you know? I think we're going to be doing more with the cauldron because I'm getting so inspired by this book. I think we're going to do some rituals, and perhaps on Wiccan Wednesday we can have a special ritual with the cauldron this upcoming week. Would you guys like that? All right. Well, anyways, guys, listen, tell me in the info box below, what are your thoughts on the cauldron? Do you use one? Have you ever used one? What's your favorite use of the cauldron? Do you cook in it? Do you scry in it? Do you pray over it? Do you burn in it? You know, what do you do with the cauldron? I'd love to hear. Just share anything you want about the cauldron. I'd love to hear about it. Well, you guys are the best. By the way, I want to say thank you. Thank you to all of you who came out to yesterday's video. We had our Saturday night seance. If you didn't see that, it's in the queue right before this one. Now, just so you know, a lot of people are getting on my case. They're like, say goodbye. We don't like the video. We can't see it clearly. I'm having video editor problems. We are still working on that. Last night was a bad night. The video didn't turn out well, but the audio is still clear. So if you watch it, you don't have to look at the screen. Just listen to the messages, absorb them in, okay? Anyways, I want to say thank you to all of you who have been sending me advice about video editors and cameras. Say goodbye to trying to get a little more modern, a little more high tech, and we're working on it. So don't worry, we're getting there little by little. I love you guys. I am so thankful you're here. I hope you have a blessed Sunday. And listen, if you want to help me out, like this video, favorite it, share it with your friends, hit subscribe, be part of our channel. And if you get a chance, pop over to my website. Let's see, where did I put it here? Yep. Pick up some books. You know, while you're studying this summer, you know, on your spiritual stuff, pick up some of my books at robert-hickman.com. The link will be in the info box below. So anyways, guys, thank you for being here. You guys rock. We'll see you back here tomorrow on, what's tomorrow? Monday. Oh my God. Well, I think we're going to have horoscopes. So be back here for that. You guys best. Love you. Send you blessings. We'll see you tomorrow. And until then, may you always blessed be.